and welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Now read by Disney, or Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it, Legends. Today is going to be a much shorter video. I'm not going to be talking about too much today. I'm going to basically finish everything else off in the next video I do on this series. But today we are talking about Tales of the Jedi by Tom Veitch. Tom Veitch is the same comic book writer who wrote the famous Dark Empire comics by Dark Horse, which, focused on Luke and the return of Emperor Palpatine and all that stuff. I've already reviewed those, so if you want to go see those reviews, go check my channel to go find those, but I've always reviewed those. And I'm just reviewing that and Tales of Jedi, Freedon, Nadd, Uprising. The rest of that series I will do in another video. I'll finish it off at Dark Lords of the Sith War, and Redemption. So that will be my next video. But the art style is certainly older. I mean, this was in the 90s, kind of reminiscent of, looks more like how the original Marvel run of Star Wars looks. But better. But this is where we get introduced to the most probably important characters of this era. I know that they have a big role to play, which is why I say that. I don't necessarily know all the ins and outs of what goes on in the story, but I know that they're very important, and that is Ulic Qel-Droma and Nomi Sunrider, and her daughter Vima Sunrider. And so, basically, the Tales of the Jedi story, the first half focuses on Ulic Qel-Droma and his brother and a couple other Jedi as they go on this mission to Onderon to help bring peace to the system. They, enter it thinking one way and end up completely the other with which side to be on and such. And the darkness that lies within that place. And that's pretty much all I'll say non-spoiler wise. Like I said, it's only 5 issues, and then the other one's only 2, so don't expect me to talk very much at all non-spoiler wise about that book. But the other half of the Tales of the Jedi 5-issue run is focused on Nomi Sunrider. A tragedy befalls her very early on in her issues, and she basically has to carry on and becomes a Jedi with her daughter. And it's all about her, trying to come to terms with that, starting to train, become a Jedi, so she can go help out in the next series, which is Tales of the Jedi, Freedon, Nadd, Uprising. And in Freedon, Nadd, Uprising, we have Nomi Sunrider, Ulic Qel-Droma, and everyone. They go back to Onderon because of stuff going on with Freedon Nadd cultists. Freedon Nadd was a Sith Lord from 4 centuries ago, which is 400 years ago. And so he was probably one of the next Sith Lords after Naga Sadow. And so he was doing stuff, and now he's dead, but his spirit remains. And so that's kind of non-spoilers possible what's going on with these stories. They're fun. Like I said, they're really, really fun, and I'm enjoying it. I know that there's so much more to go on with the storyline, and that will be discussed in the next one, but I just thought I should end it here because this is the one written by Tom Veitch, and then the next 3 stories, the next story arc, Sith, the Dark Lords of the Sith, is by Tom Veitch and Kevin J. Anderson, and I think it's just Kevin J. Anderson till Redemption, till the end of Redemption. So, but overall, I thought they were really fun. I'm glad that I got introduced to these characters. I'm curious to see where they move forward here. And I like the art style. It's certainly not as detailed as, like Legacy, but that's to be expected. I mean, it's detailed, just doesn't look as nice as Legacy looks, I guess. But I'm really looking forward to what more there is to offer. But that is pretty much it for non-spoilers for these, what is it, like 7 issues. If you want to read it yourself, I suggest doing that before moving on. Otherwise, if you're a veteran, you know everything already, then I'm going to get into spoilers. And if you don't want spoilers, then it's time for you to check out. Or if you just don't care. So, we get to Tales of the Jedi, issue 1. We get to meet Ulic Qel-Droma. Also, Onderons are kind of racist because they, when they get to Onderon, they're mean to the Twi'lek. They're like, you can't come in here, blah, 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 blah. That's really, I don't know. That's all I really had to say about issue 1. We just get introduced to characters and stuff. And we also learn that this is 4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. So, 1,000-year time gap since the last series, The Fall of the Sith Empire, and the first 4 stories in the Lost Tribes of the Sith. It's been 1,000 years since then. We get a bit of a history of Onderon, which was interesting. Just seeing, like, the struggles that they've been having and evolving. Now, the struggles... I'm so sorry. Just like in real life. The struggles with people. It just, sometimes it festers for a long time. And so they're still conflicting. Freedon Nadd is mentioned in the very first issue of this book, which the only reason I wrote it down is because I knew that the next comic book, the 2-issue series was the Freedon Nadd Uprising, so I made sure to take a note of that. Issue 2, bad guys are the good guys, and the good guys are the bad guys. We find out because, like, the Beast Riders, which are what we initially thought were the bad guys, they kidnapped the princess, only to find out that the princess wanted to get married to this Beast Warrior. And it's a kind of like Romeo and Juliet sort of thing. And then later on, when they go back to Onderon, because they want to try to convince the mother, be okay at the wedding. I don't know why I'm doing this so much today. I'm so sorry. But I guess I'm just tired. I haven't working a bit. Anyway, I'm sorry. He loses an arm. He gets his arm chopped off. So, of course, he goes and breaks off, disassembles a robot arm and puts on the robot arm to be his arm. Which I guess, technically, I mean, it might have happened before, but chronologically seeing it, this is the first time any person has gone and decided to do that to themselves. I don't know, but that's kind of cool. 400 years prior, Freedon Nadd was an apprentice, I think, to Naga Sadow, I think is the idea. But wanted to become a master, or maybe not Naga Sadow. I don't think it said that. I'm making that up. But he was an apprentice to a Sith Lord, and he wasn't getting anywhere or anything, so he went to Onderon so he could be ruler. And then it's seemingly a happy ending at the end of issue 2. Onderon is better now, everything's going to be okay. Of course, that's not the case, but that's where issue 2 ends. The last 3 issues focus on Nomi Sunrider. Issue 3, we get introduced to Noma Sunrider and her daughter Vima Sunrider, and she has a husband who is a Jedi Knight who ends up getting killed in the beginning of the issue. And so his dying wish as a Force ghost is for her to become a Jedi, and so that's what she sets out to do. Nomi becomes a Jedi. That's where she goes off to this planet to become a Jedi. When we get to issue 4, Freedon Nadd Uprising is mentioned. They mention that there's an uprising going on Onderon, but that's all we get of that at that moment. And then Baga the Hutt wants Thawne, this like Triceratops looking thing, who's a Jedi Master, wants him dead because Thawne defended his Padawan and Nomi earlier on. And so Baga the Hutt wants him dead because they have crystals that he wants, and Baga is gonna get his way. So what I like about Thawne, though, just before I continue on with what the story's going on, he reminds me of a lot of that rabbit looking thing from Junior Jedi Knights, because he's, he walks on all fours, right? But yeah, he can still use the Force, and he's still a Jedi Master. I just think that's really cool. I like that idea. I like when they did it in Junior Jedi Knights, and I like that they did it in a similar way, but with like a really big guy here. So I thought that was cool. And then at the very end of that issue, we see random people heading to Onderon. This is, we're getting introduced to a side plot with these like cousins. It's not really important, but they're there. And then issue 5, the circumstances surrounding Bog of the Hutt sending bounty hunters to go attack that place. It forces Nomi Sunrider, because she wants to learn the Force without ever having to use a lightsaber. Like all those people who complain, Yoda never used a lightsaber. Yoda never used a lightsaber, even though there's nowhere that George Lucas ever said that Yoda wouldn't use a lightsaber. But whatever, you guys are just have this weird idea in your head of what Star Wars is supposed to be, but it's not what George Lucas wanted it to be. Anyway, but like in the Junior Jedi Knight series, that rabbit thing, whatever, bunny, did not use a lightsaber. He used the Force. Though Thawne does use a lightsaber, he just uses the Force to wield it, I guess. But so with everything surrounding this book or this issue, she has to finally, turn on that lightsaber and fight the good fight. And so this is where she finally accepts her destiny, because she's been kind of, like flip-floppity flop, and now she's finally willing to embrace her destiny as a Jedi Knight. And that's kind of where the issue ends. Then we get to the Freedon Nadd Uprising, also by Tom Veitch. And the spirit attacks. The Freedon Nadd spirit attacks. And so there's also this old guy who used to be the king of Onderon. I guess he still is, technically, but he's been in hiding, and he's trying to do bad stuff, basically. That's that. And Nomi Sunrider goes to Ossus to build her own lightsaber, and then she ends up being conscripted to go to the Freedon Nadd Uprisings, where Ulic Qel-Droma already is, to help fight the good fight, and they all succeed in defeating the bad guys, and they are heroes now. They're good, they're safe, they're grand, and that is those 7 issues, in basically, without just reading you the entire 7 issues. Like I said, really fun, and that is about it. I am excited to see where these characters continue off of. I really like Nomi Sunrider a lot, actually. I don't feel like I have enough of Ulic to really give a crap as of this moment. He's kind of just there. Hopefully I'll start to appreciate him more with these last couple story arcs. But I really like Nomi so far. Like, she has, like a really sad introduction, and she's already got a kid and everything, and now she's going here to fight the good fight against the darkness, against evil. And I don't know, there's something about her that I just really appreciate. And I think she's really cool, and if she continues to be prevalent in all of these comics, she might be one of my favorites, and that would be really cool. And I mean, already she seems to be a main character, which, to all those people who said, oh, you're a sexist if you don't like the sequels, there are many, many, many female characters that you can point to in the expanded universe. So the idea that just because you don't like it, that's a bad argument, friends. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed my randomlies and my ramblings and my constant yawning, which I didn't mean to do today, let me know in the comment section. But let me know what you thought. Actually, what I want to know about is what you thought of these comics in the comment section below. This is what editing is for. Unfortunately, I'm lazy. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the entire Tales of the Jedi series as a whole. I don't care if you spoil it, because by the time this is uploaded, I will most likely be done with the whole series. But if I'm not, for any reason, or anybody else in the comment section, hasn't actually read these yet, just put a spoiler tag before doing so. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.